la nuit. Je t'attends, derrière la porte en verre, et je tiens la lumière. Stream's about to start. Get your hatred ready. Here we go. Don't you have anything else to do on a Friday night? Hi everyone, I'm Chris. I'm Evangelist on the internet. If I were a performer in Las Vegas, I'd make a joke. But I won't, because I'm not. Hello, Dynamo Dave 2002. Hi, Wheeljack64. Perfect. Hi there, Griffman. Hey there, Master Ben 95. Robot Lorekeeper. Strange Ford. Hello. Philip Faubion, Sam Wellbell, Corito Prime, Logos Minor, a hero. And Iacon Underground, who is at work. I'm sorry, Trickster, but if it wasn't for you, then the battens wouldn't be hatched, and offices wouldn't be able to lay new office building eggs, and it would be a disaster. So we respect your service. I also see Ben Walters. I see Wyatt Fogel. Hey, all of you working who are tuning in, I won't tell on you. Sideswipe Prime, you only got 30 minutes left, I won't tell on you. That would be disgusting if I told on you with 30 minutes left. If I was like, yeah, I just want you to know it's 30 minutes left on a Friday, and your employee is watching streams. Yeah. Uh-huh. Destron Decepticon 23, we love evil. V Rider, hello. What's all up on this a Friday night? Nothing can go wrong on a Friday night. I went to TFcon Toronto, and that's not what this stream is entirely about, but it's kind of also entirely about it. I got plans for talking about TFcon Toronto. Here's the thing. I got something else I gotta, like, open up. But I don't know if I should do that before or after just doing, like if I did a stream that was... Oh, hang on, this is on top chat, not live chat. Excuse me a second. Stupid! If I did a stream that was like, here's everything I got at TFcon except for, like, one thing that is, like, I'm gonna open later, would that be okay, or do you want me to actually go through and do the whole, like, we're gonna do a whole other Boxshred stream before we talk about TFcon? Because I want to stream talk about TFcon. I think that's gonna be more fun. Although, I was thinking of whether or not I should vlog it, but then... My vlogging setup that I prefer now is this, and if I'm going to do this anyway, and talk about a thing that perhaps a couple of you over there were at, maybe it makes more sense just to do it in a live stream style, with desktop cam to just go through some stuff I got, and etc. So, you know, I'm still mulling, I think I'm mulling it over, but also I'm like 99% sure I'll just do a TFcon stream and leave one toy out. Because I know what to do to open that toy. I got a plan. And I don't want to spoil the plan. That would be next week, opening that thing. TFcon might be, like, Sunday talking, because then it would be a week removed. Perfect. Ken Lord, do office buildings lay eggs? What's an office building nest called? You have to have a certain security clearance to learn that nomenclature. Also, I don't know if I popped up here with the caption showing, like, stuff already when I came on talking about Best Buy. There's a story behind that. But I will tell you immediately what this stream is about. It's about hatred. It's about generosity. It's about masterpiece movie Bone Crusher. Now, where'd I get that? I got it at TFcon. How'd I get it? Generosity. Wheeljack64 walked up to me on the Friday night after the charity auction and handed me this, and I will paraphrase, said, I didn't need anything in the raffle, and this was in the raffle, so I decided to win it for you. Now, most folks can't, like, just dead-ass look at a raffle, right? And go like, I think I'll win that one for someone. But, like, occasional Wheeljack64, it just is able to, like, weaponize this, like, special ability, this quirk, to go like, you know what? I think I'm gonna win that, for Chris. And then does. So, I was, like, literally stunned on Friday night, so I don't know if I expressed properly how thankful I am. But I really wanted to make sure... Oh, Wheeljack64 also just won tickets to see Transformers 1 on Tuesday. It's like, you know... But I hope I expressed clearly both then and now, and at least one other time over the weekend, how thankful I am. That was super kind of you. Because, like, boy, you'll see it in the panel videos briefly in the first one, but, like, basically, I'll just say it now. My mom is having some very spooky, scary medical stuff going on, and it's like, it's no good up here, and that's just me over here on the other side of the country. Can't even imagine, you know, how hard it is over there. Well, I can. I talk to her on the phone still, like, every day. But, you know, this was super kind. The whole of TFcon was a really good weekend to, like, rebuffer a lot of my brain with, like, good chemicals. I still need more, but it was still very necessary, because the timing of it was all just So, this is what we're opening today. Because I didn't open it at the show, because I wanted to open things I bought at the show. And, I figured, I think we even talked about this at the show, that like, oh, why don't I just stream this? I'll let you know when I'm streaming it. So, we're in position. And I think I got the cameras in position. Am I going to TFcon Baltimore? Unlikely. I just don't know how I'll swing that, especially since I am now going to be flying back and forth to Vangelis Island a couple times to help out with my mom's stuff and how she's doing over there. I'm going to be heading over there in like 2 or 3 weeks for like 2.5 weeks, then back here, and then maybe even 2 weeks later going back over there. It's a whole thing. It's not yet for any kind of horrifically bad reason. But treatment is brutal, and she needs some support, and she also does not need to have 50 people milling around, because she's like in a position where it's kind of dangerous to just have like tons of people milling in and out. They actually I think they don't let you do that at the she's in a hospital that's very good with very good staff, and they're taking super good care of her, and they're also taking super good care of her immune system, which is the important thing. Oh, Logos Miner. At least the McDonald's Happy Meal display stand sold. Oh, okay, that's good. Also, Logos Miner, I was in a similar position. I brought in a pile of stuff, and I got like 100 million raffle tickets, and I put them all in one thing, and someone else won it. And I was like, you know, that's just how math works. But for a good 10 seconds, I was quietly fuming. And I got over it. But yeah, you and I, we both need to just practice deciding winning to win prizes. Like, I don't know how to decide to just like, no, I'm gonna win that. Like, it's a hard thing to weaponize. If Madam Web taught me anything, it's immediate family only, which according to that movie does not include your stepdaughter. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see Madam Web, to be honest. I kind of like just knowing about it through cultural osmosis. Which I'm sure people who saw the film would maybe be quick to say, like, good, that's the best way to watch it, is by not watching it. But, you know, that's the impression I got from some folks who did watch it. They were like, don't. But if I switch to the desktop camera, this should work! Here it is. Here it is. There's all my mess. I also still have to... I have to do so much... I don't have to, but I do have to. I gotta clean this entire desk, and I gotta, like, reorganize so much stuff, because Aaron graciously brought me an unused monitor. You might have heard him mention it during one of the news streams. So I gotta install that too. And every time, right, where it's like, it's time to fix that depression clutter. What springs along but yet one more source of perhaps that fun depression? So we just gotta, as the lyrics to a very good Bloodywood song say, I can get back up if I'm still alive. And I'm still alive! So I'm getting back up. Anyway. Get a monitor arm. I don't know where I would put that either. No, I got a spot that is only occupied by 2 different third-party Masterpiece Optimus Primes and MP44's trailer, standing like a column. It's been like that for like 5 years. It is a sick lyric. Bloodywood's debut album is, in general, perfect. I highly recommend it. It's like a bunch of good boys from New Delhi who do very good metal being like your shonen protagonist allies, and like you know, telling you to kick ass and they got your back. It's a really good album. Ain't these boxes made of thick cardboard? The usual technique isn't going to work, but this is a Masterpiece movie box, so the nice thing is I didn't even have to film this before. Well, this isn't the knife I meant to grab. We'll just use it. This is the rotary cutter. It's just a big black box, right? So all I got to do is find the bottom tape, use my rotary cutter, I guess, to cut that, and then I can film this box later. And yeah, Weird Al released his first track in 10 years today, or at least his first track since his last album 10 years ago. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard good things. There's what Bone Crusher looks like in the box. No presentation to speak of. Ooh, there's the instructions. I think someone told me the instructions on this one are good, so I'm gonna give them a try. I can already tell, like, that they actually use clear contrasting tones, so I can kind of see what's happening in some of these shots already, so this is really helpful. Medigate Shatter. Beautiful toy. Literally hateful instructions. Like, those instructions hate me. Smash Gamer, hello, welcome. Acan Lord, you still have to open your Missing Link Optimus and Fans Hobby Wingman. I'm still waiting to hear back again. I heard back from Fans Hobby about the busted wing on my Wingman. and I gave them the info, but now I'm in the waiting pattern where I haven't heard from them since like June or July 7th. So we'll see what happens. It would be nice to get a replacement part, but it's also a convention exclusive. I don't know if they have replacement parts. Ark! You were watching a Boxshred stream featuring strong women. Now you got a live Boxshred. Well, hey, you know, you won the prize. So congratulations. Yeah, my wingman took a 6-inch fall off a box while I was across country. So I came back, he was on the floor, and one of the wings broke off and even more paint came off his head. So I sent them pictures of both. Where are the bits in here? I'm seeing like these little extra boxes, but none of the extra bits. There's where that monitor can go, by the way. See, it's just a mess over there. I just have to clean it. Ain't nothing in here. Shaking the boxes like a caveman. Ooh. Ooh. Something in this one. Fire. Oh, we got 2 tissue paper wads. Look at that. 2 cocoons full of fresh toy. Hopefully they're ready to hatch. Hopefully they survived this long journey to get to me. Yeah, Akan Lord, it was fall damage. I was actually really shocked. I was extremely shocked. Because, like, Fans Hobby stuff generally has been so durable that my only other major break on Athena wasn't a parts break. It was me following their advice of how to, like, get the head back out when they had the first run where the heads were sticking in. And the plastic just deformed from the pressure of the pliers and stretched like taffy. It didn't break. I squished it back to size, but it didn't work anymore. So I sent them an email and told them everything, and they were like, "Oh, that's new. We'll send you a new little headmaster." All right, the mess is out of the way, and now I only have to point down here. Is this a good angle? This seems like a good angle. I locked the focus, and I think I locked it at a good point. Hooray. Yeah, Wingman was such a bummer to me, because not only did it break, I got Wingman before Huntsman, the Florida one. I finally got that one from Ultra Primal, who'd been hanging on to it for me since Florida, because Ultra Primal kicks ass. And Wingman, as a toy, I kind of just didn't like very much. Like, he's fine, but he was so goofball weird and limited. And then everyone who got Buster and Hydra basically told me, like, yeah, of the 2 molds, he's the other one. He's the one who they had to put out, and he feels like he's the one they had to put out, whereas the first one is apparently just great. What I can tell you, well, I'll show you briefly here. This guy rules. This guy kicks ass. This is actually a really cool toy. I like this one a lot. The other one, even before he broke, I didn't actually like him all that much. Here's the part that broke, by the way. You can see it was only connected by half a cylinder of molded plastic, so I don't know if maybe I had an air pocket in there and that exacerbated the issue. But it's amazing how 2 toys that are designed as a pair, one of them is enormously better than the other one. Yeah, Marksman is awesome. Wingman is, like, fine, but if I didn't know Huntsman or Marksman was great, I would have assumed he sucked. But so many people told me really quickly, and then, like, all the reviews were like, from Fans Hobby Collectors were like, as we all know, this is the worst of the 2 toys by a long country mile. And I was like, okay, that actually makes me feel better, kind of. I dropped a piece of fire. Excuse me. I got it. Akan Lord, that's the exact point of failure on the Darkwing mold. Okay, it just was cracked. Like, I could barely tell where the break even was until I lined them up. Because I thought it was a full cylinder, so I thought, well, I'll just drill a hole in and I'll put a metal, like a piece of brass rod in and pin it, and then whatever, we'll be fine. But there's only like half a cylinder on one side, and I'm like, holy moly, that's risky. That's a risky gamble to take. Also, someone saw a Sister of Battle. Yeah, it's a Joy Toy sister. Speaking of things that break, the wrist joints on these are Hayatoys bad. Compared to the Space Marines, it was real shocking to me. It put me off getting anything from Joy Toy that's, like, not Space Marine thick. I hate Hayatoy's wrist joints. I hate them a lot. I generally don't like wrist joints that are, like, they're designed so thin that they just assume that you use a hairdryer to interact with them. And I'm like, sorry, but I don't. This isn't working. This isn't... I have a stick up my butt about Hayatoys because I got one of their very first pieces ever when they had the Alien license, and I went through 3 of those things with parts breaking all the time. And then you cut to many years later, and I saw their Judge Dredd stuff, so I got like their Judge Fear. Immediately, I was like, this toy's gonna break. This doesn't feel great. This feels terrible. And I threw him in a sales bin. And I was like, nope, never again. So when I saw like Hayatoys getting all these other licenses, like G.I. Joe, for instance, I was like, I'm not touching their G.I. Joe stuff. Not with my actual human money. The Godzilla stuff could be fine because they're not gonna. I hope they're not gonna have teeny tiny wrist joints, but I do not like tiny. Like, it's basically like, imagine a Fig Arts joint, but smaller, and not made of nylon plastic. Yeah, Ark, I mean, I think it's on humanoid figures. It's on anyone who has like a Fig Arts hinge with double peg in the wrist there, where they want you to leave it in and they don't give you any extras. I don't trust it. On, like, right now, the one on her that broke is one that I stole off of a Necron whose hands I'm never gonna swap. A Necron, by the way, who came with 2 of the same hands. I had a bad run with Joy Toy after the Space Marines. And yeah, I can't imagine that the Godzilla, like, the Godzilla stuff, if anything's gonna be breaky, it's gonna be just the same as Monster Arts if there's like teeny tiny ball joints. But it's not gonna be like, the thing about the wrists, I'll get off the soapbox in a sec. The thing about the wrists that really bothers me, where did I put those here there, is it's that tiny thing, but then also it's what you have to stress to do hand swaps. And like, unfortunately, when I have hand swaps on something like a Sister of Battle, I use the hand swaps a lot, because there's gun hold hand, there's sword hand, and there's fist, right? And I kind of want to be able to hot swap through them without having to, like, be in fear or break out electronic hardware like a hairdryer, or boil water like a friggin' warlock to swap hands. It's totally me. Like, I know that that's very normal for an entire sect of the figure collecting community. I'm not part of that sect, though. I'm sectless. I'm no good at sect. And it might also, like, if the hinge joints are just bigger, it's probably fine. Like, the reason why the Space Marines that Joy Toy do are fine is that they're popping on and off of just a gigantic ball socket barbell, right? So there's enough mass there. It's when you have a hinge on a ball, like 2 hinges, and they both have that same half-cylinder cut that I was talking about on Wingman on either side, right? Then I'm like, ugh! Smash Gamer, I'm gonna do a TFcon stream probably over the weekend that's gonna go in more detail about stuff I got. This one is just focused on Bibble Krubel over here. Let's get him back in shot. There he is. He's just hanging out. Now, I gotta put his big funny arm together. There's more parts here than I was expecting. Oh, because, okay, so you swap these ones out for when he's normal versus when, you know, it's Friday night. We'll go with normal first, just to be kind to everyone who's still at work. I've heard some good stuff about this toy. I've heard some good stuff about Brawl, too. Now I really want to go and find Blackout somehow. Or I guess, at this point, a luxury knockoff of Blackout. It seems like it's the same amount of work either way. Hee hee ha ha. Ha ha. Alright, so this is gonna... Okay, it's got like a straight up C-clip thing. Will you talk about... I didn't know this was being not safe for... Listen. I'm flashing these up, but just for a second, okay? Don't let your boss see these ones. Will you also talk about fans you met during that TFcon stream? Yeah, I'm generally going to talk about most anything. That's why I figured doing it as a live stream makes more sense, because then, like, you know, the couple of folks in the audience who were there can just swing by if they're around and can chime in a little bit in the text chats. This is all clicky. This is all hella clicky. Check out my arm while I do this. Let's see if I can do this. Ooh. Ooh. This thing's got grit. This is extremely long. It's almost as though that's just what the vehicle is like. I'll say this, by the way, because it might come up. I don't know a lot about the actual vehicle Bone Crusher turns into. Most everything I know about it is that it's famous because of Bone Crusher. And then I forgot about it because they killed Bone Crusher immediately. So, if I get any factoids incorrect about, you know, if anyone out there is a big beloved fan of this particular vehicle here, then, fight me. I don't... Whatever. Anyway, yeah, I heard, basically, I don't have Blackout or Brawl, but I have all the other NPM Decepticons, and I really like them. And I have, I think, almost, if not all, of the current NPM Autobots, and they're way the hell more hit or miss. Ratchet's great. Ratchet's great. Ironhide's funny. But yeah, this thing's got some good heft to try. I was just seeing if there's any kind of like mounting point on the side here for its thing, but I'm not seeing it. Like it has a little ledge to rest on. I was wondering if it clipped in at all. Searchman DS, the only fact I know about this vehicle is the claw is a part added for the movie. The actual claw is much smaller. That's a bummer. You'd think, right? This is already such a niche vehicle. Why don't they just leave this... I mean, maybe it's for, physics or science reasons, but just having a gigantic-ass claw on the thing, because it was in a movie once, would be kind of funny for, whoever drives these things. The Rainer, hello. It's a Buffalo Miner Raker. Well, it says right here, Bone Crusher. I guess it's for the movie. Otherwise, I assume it would say Buffalo. Is there... Oh, that's kind of cool. Look, they actually applied tampograph to the windows to match where the windshield wipers would have been operative. That's kind of cool. I don't think I've ever seen that before on a Transformer. Unless I'm forgetting something. The dirty tires look good. Yeah. I think they're just marbled oh, no. No, they're dry brushed. Yeah, they're full on dry brushed. Oh, yeah, Sideswipe Prime, just for you. Yeah, look at this. I don't think I've seen that on a Transformer before. That's a really cool effect. I'm trying to... I think it's on the outside, I think. It's cool, though, because it's also asymmetrical. So it's like... I don't know, it feels all custom and stuff. Where am I going to put this? Alright, I'm going to start transforming him. I'm going to leave the arm on, because I don't want to yank it off again, but the instructions show the arm being off. If anyone... Oh! That was easier to pull off than I thought, so I'll just leave it off. Ark says, something that surprised me about the NPM Con specifically is how much they borrow from the Studio Series figures, as though they looked at them for groundwork. That's interesting. Wheeljack64 confirming you can do Kanzen Henkei. Alright, I'll leave it off for now because I knocked it off, and so I suspect, given my filming confines, that might just happen a lot if I leave it on, trying to do this streamy-wise. But yeah, it sounds like, obviously, we have some happy NPM Bone Crusher enthusiasts here in the audience today. I was talking about how clear these are. I already can't tell what they want me to do. The angle is funky. Oh, I see. Okay. That's neat. I heard from that toy guy that you can, or at least he was able to do NPM Brawl, like, without looking at the instructions, and I think that's kind of wild. I also think that's kind of great. What I will say, for all my complaining on Blue Sky about Metagate Chatter's instructions, I was able to basically figure out a majority of her car-to-robot transformation without the instructions. Having checked them afterwards. And that actually was kind of nice, because I think that she is, to some degree, a rather intuitive figure, but she's intuitive in ways that are simply, like, not as we, the Earth humans, do. So it makes it a little bit more complicated. Covered the part with the arrow there for... Okay, I see. Wait, did I see? Covered the part with the arrow. You fool! I see now. I had it pointed the wrong way around. There we go. Wait, does this rotate on that mushroom peg? Oh, no, it does! That's cute. Destron Decepticon, I think Energon Snowcat might have had the texture like that molded in, not 100% certain. That's cool either way. Okay, I can't remember the finicky details on Energon Snowcat. JT Elm, just here for the Friday night vibes. You got him. You got him, you found him. Wait, I think I'm supposed to move something here first. Yeah, okay, I'm supposed to... Whoa, that feels good. That's on like a... That's on like an articulation tier ratchet joint. Oh, they don't want me to... Well, then why is it on a mushroom? Oh, it's probably just for assembly. Unless it does something later. Literally the next step. Alright, we got it. And I'm gonna switch my fan to actual AC because it's already starting to heat me a little bit. It's not as hot as it was during TFcon, but it's still a little varmish, and I already don't like it when it's above 20. So, you know, living my best life. Watcher Prime, he's really good. They found their footing with the later NPMs. Yeah, I'm kind of hype about Brawl. Because also, like, I like Brawl. I like Leader Brawl back in 07, or I guess 08 at that point. Student Scissors, what's up? Hanging out here only until I have to go and record this weekend's video. Ah, it's alright. We'll be around when you're back, possibly. Hopefully not that long. Emperor Nova, I think I'm winning. Smash Gamer, opinions on Studio Series 86 Optimus. I think he looks fine. I didn't rush to pre-order, because I would like to catch him, but I don't really want to commit. That said, I never saw Studio Series Commander Magnus, and so this being the next Studio Series Commander, maybe there's a chance I just don't see this one either. I would like to think, you know, not to be a brand boy, but I'd like to think that when they're doing literal Optimus Prime, maybe they'll make more. But, you know... We live in an unpredictable world, and that's part of the fun. I knocked some dice over. This would have been a disaster if I tried winging this thing around with the entire arm attached. I'm folding these bits up. I'm supposed to fold them up flush-like. There we go. Oh, and then in. I love it when they do so many steps about, like, teeny tiny little things like this. Because it feels like that's when someone was really awake. Working on the procedurals. But then there's the parts where it's, like, clearly, you know, several hours later in the day and someone's like, oh, God. Because, like, I've done work like that. When I have office temped before. Oh, cool. Okay, I'm gonna gush about something for a sec. If I can get back out. So this one has a little extra, like, sticky outy bit here. See that little tooth? And see that little channel? That's cut specifically for the tooth to fit in. That's so satisfying. What next? Swing the little ladder down. This is also really fun because I have the third-party movie masterpiece Bone Crusher that came out many, many years ago. And I remember him being neat to transform and generally not scary to transform. But then whenever I've looked at him, I don't know where I put his instructions. And I can't remember his name. And I can't remember how he works. You know the old nightmare, right? The old Transformers fan nightmare. They put the fold right through the middle of the details, so actually I'm struggling to see what's happening. But I think it's working like that. Yeah, it's moving. We're moving the axis backwards a bit. I'm assuming we do the same over here. Yeah, it's just really tight. It's tight. Let's move up a bit. There we go. 2008 YouTuber style. Let's move the camera up a bit after we did the thing. Opening doors, perhaps? What part opens here? There's a lot of panels. What part am I actually opening? Okay, that part. I think. There we go. So I assume we're doing that on both sides. Oh, is the trailer better than Earthrise's? I think it's better in that it's bigger. Earthrise is biggest, well, not biggest. One of the many problems I have with Earthrise Optimus' trailer, aside from it being dead-ass boring, is it's also, like, slightly small. So I'm like, not only is this kind of boring, but it's too small, and I don't even want it in the first place, and yet the only thing I wanted for it to be big also isn't there. It's undersized and underperforming. Size does matter if the technique ain't there, and Earthrise Optimus Prime ain't got no technique. I'm just saying it right now. I'm dropping the T on him. If he wishes to combat about it, he can come and talk to me. What am I flipping up? Or am I just lifting to disengage? I'm just disengaging a tad. Okay. Oh, Emperor Nova, I mean, technically you have the only one I don't have that's, like, fully widely out now, so we're just living parallel lives. I'm sure that many people don't agree with me that Megatron and Starscream are great toys, but I really like them. I recently was messing with Megatron, like MPM Megatron again. I like that toy a lot. I got it for like 80 bucks off. Maybe that enters into the equation, but I like that toy a lot. I also like 2007 Megatron a lot, which once again is not the most common of viewpoints to have, I understand. Like, just in the Viscord recently, Sideswipe Prime had gotten the that new 5-pack or whatever, and I was just popping off seeing Studio Series 2007 Megatron again. I love that design. I love that toy. I love the MPM. What's being lifted here? Oh, I always miss the friggin' little 180 degree they put down there. It's too small. It's too small. The true fans, the true fans. Wait, what am I lifting? What am I lifting up? Oh, I was supposed to leave one of these down, apparently. Oh, I just knocked a bunch of... This jutting erection off the front of this guy is jamming into all my things. It's making this a lot more difficult than it should be. What am I doing exactly? I'm just thing up and then... Oh, there we go. It popped up a bit. Oh, it's on little piston sliders, so you have to do it like that to get it clearanced. And then I'm guessing I'm swinging these up on these hinges. I am. And I freeze these things to swing outwards. Said that freeze these things to swing. There we go. But oh boy, I missed a bunch. Do you like the '07 liter Megatron? You know, nostalgia-wise, kinda, but he's become very forgettable. I prefer the Voyager a lot. I liked the Voyager a lot back then with the ice pieces. Yeah, Brawl isn't. Yeah, Brawl and oh, I can read the list right there. Yeah, Brawl and this guy, Bone Crusher, aren't it? Their non-inclusion in that list made me forget if they had Studio Series toys for a full minute when they announced that thing. Favorite spring rolls, PT. I like, if it's done right, I actually like a spring roll that's got a bit of meat in it. But usually they're done cheap and fast, so I'm good. I'm just fine with a veggie spring roll as long as I got a good sauce to dip it in. As long as it has a good crunch when I bite in, but gets soft in the middle. So it's like crunch and then it compresses. And I prefer the ones where that happens and the shell doesn't flake out and spread all over the table. Like when they can hold cohesion even though they're fracturing. Those are the best kind of spring rolls. Everyone should eventually have some pointed spring roll opinions, if you ask me. I feel like... So these wheels already got in the way once. And now it's telling me to flip these bits up and the wheels are still in the way, so I feel like I didn't do something right. I feel like I have perhaps been wheeling wrong. Sky Seiyu. I'm not like a connoisseur of spring rolls, I just know what I like, you know? Much like a good art critic. I'm not gonna claim to know everything about art, but, you know, god damn it, I know what I like. Oh, here we go. I was supposed to fold them down on this thing and then over. So there was a whole extra axis of movement I was ignorant of whilst doing some of this stuff. There we go, that gets those up. Which do you prefer between spring rolls and egg rolls? I used to have an opinion on that, and it's been so long since I've actually been having spring rolls and egg rolls, I can't remember anymore what the difference is. I have to renew my knowledge. I mostly recall that when I have spring rolls, they're usually from Thai restaurants. So I think I like egg rolls a bit more, but I have spring rolls more often, I think. Sky Seiyu, you do know everything about art, too, right? Yes, obviously. I'm a film school student, so I know everything. And thank you for making sure that everyone else knows, because otherwise we could have been in some danger here. I have to do the big split now. Oh, 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 oh. There we go. There we go. It's happening. I gotta swing these bits in. Oh me, oh my. Am I doing this right? I think I'm doing this. Wait, what am I swinging in? You can't just show me vague shapes! Okay, so it is just the bulldog plates going in. And then they go, okay, then they go around this way. Am I tabbing these into something? I am. Okay, sweet. That wasn't the tab. That was something else clicking. Hate it when that happens, because that's spooky as hell. I can't get this to line up. I see the tab, and I see the slot, but I can't get them to line up. Is it just not time yet? Am I prematurely attempting to dock before we're supposed to? Maybe I am. I'll just put them there. See what this thing says. No, it says it's docking time. Well then, let's get in there. Let's get granular. Listen up, true believers. Oh, hey, butter boy. Enjoy Die Buster. I haven't seen Die Buster in ages. I just rewatched Gunbuster. Last time I visited my mom, actually, we watched Gunbuster on, I think on Blu-ray or DVD. I think I only had the DVDs, but she'd never seen it. So I was like, here, check out Gunbuster. I still cried at the end. Yeah, Robot Lorekeeper making a good point. Quote, I get that I'm not even full-on vegetarian, but I would rather have veggie options because they're more consistently nice, whereas meat is just sometimes kind of nasty. Yeah, badly prepared meat can ruin an entire meal. Badly prepared vegetables, with some exceptions, usually top out at really annoying, maybe slightly sad. I can't get this stuff to lock if my life depended on it. Maybe I gotta extend this. It says this is gonna extend out. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Brian, 800 milligrams of Angelus. Yeah, yo. Sam Wellbell, is your mom an otaku? My mom just likes stuff. She likes what she likes. She's a big fan of, it's not less otaku, more Nihon cinema. She's a big fan of Dodeska Den. And she's the one who turned me on to Perfect Days. Perfect Days is like a perfect movie. The latest Wim Wenders piece. Highly recommended. It's extremely easy to watch. It's almost a better movie if you watch it at home at your leisure and like pause at some point to just like make some dinner or something. This is a disaster. I'm like talking and then losing track of where I'm lining things up. I feel like I'm doing something wrong because these just don't feel like they're lining up to me. Like the dimensions in here just don't make any sense. It's too high. Oh, well, but you just got the Criterion release of it. Hell yeah. Good Smile's doing a weird mini model kit series of transforming super robots, and the first ones they showed were Gunbuster and Getter 1. If those things aren't super expensive, those would be fun to mess with. Wait, is this on a double hinge joint? It's on a double hinge joint. That's what was screwing me up. I got it now. I got it now. Okay. So this double hinge here, I had it too far down. That's what was messing all this stuff up. Kuga Gaming. Yeah, I've heard lots of good about MPM Bone Crusher. That's why I'm super friggin' hyped that I will say once again, with thanks, Wheeljack64, literally decided to win this in a raffle to give to me at TFcon. Because our Wheeljack64 is simply able to do that. That's just a thing, Wheeljack. That's a very neat quirk, as they say in anime, that Wheeljack64 can execute upon. And I really appreciate it, because I had basically missed out on this guy. When he was out at my local EB GameStops, I could not afford him. And then he stopped being out. And I was like, well, am I into the MPM blackout part of the life cycle now where I wait for a luxury knockoff? Okay, so now I pull, what do I pull out? I pull these out. But these are just double hinges, so they're not sliders. I'm just unfurling them. All right. Arc. My girlfriend is taken to characters like Alita 1 and RC. Is thinking of getting her a fancier figure for our 6-month. I don't know how readily available it is anymore, but the Ocular Max Azalea, and there is also an MMC Azalea, which is a lot less fun to mess with. The Ocular Max Azalea, the one that looks like cartoon RC, is, I still believe, the pinnacle RC toy ever to be made. I don't think a better one can be made myself, to my tastes. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of subjective opinion in there, but I highly recommend that one. If your partner is like down with 80s RC, it's one of the finest. But if you don't want to spend big money, it's not huge money, but if you want to spend downwards, Studio Series 86 RC is probably the best we're going to get at a deluxe price point on a specifically 1986 RC. I don't think that can be done any better either, without like redesigning. So those are two really solid options. If I was gonna say, Titan's Return RC is a really good, like, rethink on RC, as is Cyberverse Deluxe RC. I don't know how easy either of those are to get anymore. So, I'm not sure. I think Studio Series 86 RC is still floating around. So that's, like, reasonable to try to find. Razor Bear 1, it's pleasantly surprising that the less screen time the characters had, the better MPM figure they ended up having. And that's why we love headcanon. Because I can just make up a better movie that these guys came from. And just roll with it. Okay, I'm opening everything here, apparently. But what does that mean? What does that actually mean? So I'm looking at the same part. I feel like there's things in the way that aren't down in that artwork, but nope, that just worked. Okay. Also, is his head supposed to be naked like this? I'm just realizing he's missing... I guess that's why they put both of them in here. Like, this can stay on him, right? Like, when he's transforming. Oh yeah, Trickster, like, the movies... One of the reasons I have enjoyed the movies as they came out is partly because I just sort of made up my own story for them. And I had a lot more fun with them that way. Like, something I kind of... I'm not going to say... Well, I don't know a better way to put it. Something I was literally kind of teaching some people who were new to the fandom, or new to paying attention to the fandom again, was that there is no one Transformers continuity. So when they were like, how can you enjoy horrific, murderous Optimus Prime? It's so depressing. I was like, well, it is. But I kind of like it, because it's like we're getting a Shattered Glass movie. This is just a terrible, terrible timeline where everything's bad. And if I want to see nice Optimus Prime, I'll go watch Transformers Prime, where he's nice. And that didn't, you know, grok with everybody, but that was something I was trying to instill into the people, you know? I was like, you don't gotta go, like, you know, oh, how does this fit into the overall canon? Thankfully, the movies themselves, like, nullified the idea of continuity by, like, movie 2. So there wasn't too much to worry about then. Hey, question for those of you who have this guy. These upper testicles, do I have to move these out of the way now, or do I leave them there? Do I manipulate the upper balls, or do I leave them? For those who know. Yeah, in the NPM Autobots, it is like, it used to be the rule, the cars are good, the trucks are bad, just in NPM in general. But then it kind of turned out it's just Optimus and Ironhide. Optimus is, like, fine. If you can get the Japanese version, he's less warped out of the package. Ironhide just kind of sucks. I don't hate the toy. I wouldn't, like, I'm not gonna go like, oh, you're a bad person for enjoying it. But, like, the Studio Series version was just, like, a categorically nicer experience. And also, the NPM has parts that, like, as far as I can tell, commonly break. When I returned mine because it broke, I kept, like, a piece of the pelvis. Because I was like, this feels like I might need the spare parts. Okay, Kuga Gaming is gonna check the upper testes for me on Bone Crusher. When I fold these parts down, I noticed that I can't really get these out of... through there anymore. So it feels like if they're meant to rotate back, I should be doing that sooner than later, but maybe I'm misunderstanding things in future. Just while you're looking at that, what else can I be doing here? I could be swinging these wheels up. Yeah, I mean, the consolation prize arc with Ironhide is the Studio Series version. When they announced it, I was like, well, if the NPM couldn't get it, maybe they just don't know how to do this guy. And then the Studio Series Voyager, like, I really, really enjoyed. So I was like, oh, maybe you just needed one more try. Just one more try at this fella. And it turns out that, yes, they just needed one more try. But yeah, going back to Revenge of the Fallen, basically, part of the reason I enjoyed the progression of Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon was because I was just like, well, Optimus Prime being a homicidal maniac is kind of funny. So back then, that was kind of like the thing I was enjoying through those. That's why that's why Age of Extinction is my favorite one. My quote I'd usually drop is because it's the most honest of the 5. But also, I literally popped in the theater when Optimus Prime's first spoken line of dialogue was screaming, "I'll kill you," at Mark Wahlberg. Because I was like, have they been listening to the podcast? Have they been watching videos? Have they been reading my fanfics? Like, did they make this for me? And Age of Extinction is just like, it's the only movie that embraces what that continuity is. And that's why I hate Last Night, mostly, because they just dropped a bunch of stuff in Age of Extinction for the better, in my opinion. A bunch of tropes and notions, and then specifically brought them all back in The Last Night, and I was like, come on. Yeah, the testicles are still in front of the face on mine. Yeah, Age of Extinction was Vangelis core. The Romeo and Juliet scene sucks, but also, as the most honest of all of the live-action Michael Bay movies, it's better than any scene with Megan Fox, where you're just like, so are you horny or not? Like, you're clearly horny, but you're not saying it. And then Age of Extinction is just like, zip, pants hit the floor. You're like, alright, that's not appropriate. Put your pants back on, but thanks for not lying to me. Like, that's how I took that scene. And yeah, the ending of Dark of the Moon is where I really turned around. I was kind of getting bored during Dark of the Moon. Then the ending, I remember on the podcast, it was me and Gog Dog. We were so fascinated by the ending of that movie because we were both kind of expecting Optimus Prime to turn the shotgun on himself, just because of the way the movie's tone suddenly shifted, darker. And, like, the music and stuff, like, it was like, dun dun dun, circling around him after he just killed his brother and his father. And we were both like, we both were like, is he just gonna go like, ah, and then, like, just blow his own head off? And, like, you know, original ending of Rambo. And then we found out about the novelization ending, which made it even weirder. Because we're like, so they originally had a Transformers ending? Where they called a truce, and everything felt like it was actually Transformers suddenly, and then still like, no, what if we cut that out? What if Optimus actually just murders everyone while they're surrendering? Anyway, what was I doing? I was manipulating the wheels, and now I gotta pull out these things that I think these little things here, I think connect to the crotch. Oh, these peg into the wheels, that's sick. Oh, holy crap! Look how smooth that was! Bip! They just went in! I didn't have to guide them in! And these wheels are on like 14 different joints. That's sick. I love that. Okay, what is the thing being moved now? Okay, it's all this. Oh! Okay. But... okay, so I think that's fine? I feel like I'm supposed to be locking something in, though. Oh, wait a second. Is this supposed to be, like, separating? Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. As a film student, I can also comment on The Last Night. This is the thing that I think has, like, people know, but then it kind of gets lost in the Last Night discourse, is they created an entire writer's room for that movie. Hang on, what is that tiny thing? That's the part I was moving, right? Yeah, so I was doing the thing. Anyway, they created an entire writer's room to write plots for an entire Transformers cinematic universe, because at the time that was a brand new phrase. The thing about The Last Night that is supremely evident, and I refuse to believe I'm wrong because I have yet to see any evidence that I'm wrong about this, is after having a lot of talented writers write a bunch of really cool treatments for Transformers films, The Last Night simply executes on all of them at the same time in a semi-randomized order. Because it was like one of the last gasps of shotgun summer filmmaking, of like, surely the brand is just so strong that we can take remotely any vaguely good work and simply run it through a thresher and spit the chum out on an audience, and then we make $14 billion. Demonstrably, that's not what happened. But I believe that is the story of The Last Night. And until someone shows me scientific evidence otherwise, I'm right. So that's my big hot take on The Last Night. Oh, there's a bunch going on with these legs now. Oh, holy crap, this is actually kind of cool, though. I think that it's very easy to have missed the writer's room news with each passing year, because people kind of don't bring it up as much anymore. And that's nobody's fault. It's easy to forget a lot of things about those movies. I feel like everything is butting into stuff in a way that it's not supposed to. A plot for every aspect ratio is a hella quote. Yeah, Moses, imagine being the guy who came up with Megatron's crew, and then seeing them like, oh yeah, it's right, Suicide Squad, and then like seeing your whole idea play out, and then get flushed 10 minutes later, and then it just moves on. Like, one of my big supporting evidences is the other month, I found a supercut of all of Hot Rod's scenes from The Last Night. And if you watch a supercut of all of Hot Rod's scenes from The Last Night, it feels like you're watching a summary of a decent Transformers movie until it stops, and then you start seeing like ending set piece clips. But it feels like you're just watching some neat Transformers short film that they did with extra money until it stops. So like the Hot Rod scenes to me are like some of the perfect evidence for my assertion. I'm kind of freeballing this a little bit too, by the way. I'm guessworking my way in because I think I see where stuff is supposed to go. It's not playing nice. Oh god, I'm getting scared. Because, like, also, and this was a common talking point about The Last Night, the entire bit with, you know, this is the film's fault, Orphan Girl, and, and Canopy, that was also an entire, completely neat Transformers short film that started, and then stopped. This leg transformation is kind of baller. I kind of love this. Yeah, good old Canopy. I have encountered people who don't believe Canopy's a real Transformer because The Last Night, like, actively screws with your brain while you watch it, and I'm only half joking. Alright, now we flip the crotch up. Baby. I have not kept track of what is fake parts and what isn't, but I think that was inside the vehicle mode before. Isabella, that's her name. Yeah, Isabella was like a super neat character who just was evacuated from the film very suddenly, and I still feel bad for that actor. That was a good actor. Like, just imagine, hey, you're gonna be in the Transformers movie, you know, part of a 10-year legacy, that skyrocketed careers. Anyway, we're also cutting out 60% of your character arc. Actually, we're just cutting out 60% of you. Actually, who are you again? Okay, I'm loving this. There's a little strut that folds down that pegs into the friggin' wheel. Oh, it's so cool. I love this stuff. This stuff is so nice. It's just so pleasant, and it likes me for playing with the figure. I don't know how better to describe that. Oh, and these, like, jigsaw together, and they're made of... Like, this is, like, Magic Square stuff. This is, like, jigsawing nylon plastic. This toy actually just likes me. This toy loves me. It's just doing things I like. Like, we got that out of that. That rules. And it's all solid. Alfie is loving your happy toy sounds. Hell yeah! I just bopped the mic with Bone Crusher's thingamy. Wait, did I miss another strut? Was there an... Oh, no, that's this stuff. Okay. What an actively nice and friendly toy. They just go... They just together, like in... Oh, the tactile feedback is like... shooting dopamine... right up me. You might say, oh, do you mean up my ass? No. Nothing so surgical. Alright. So... What is up with these truck balls? I don't know. The foot-hand feel is great. That's a sentence to just drop on someone who's not remotely near the continuity. Or the continuity? The community. Wow, what happened there? Oh, Cypher is saying the Suicide Squad sequence has tire tread prints instead of fingerprints. I didn't even notice that. I will say, the only Transformers live-action film I have watched more than twice... Okay, more than 3 times is Age of Extinction. And that being watching it all the way through. Sitting down, purposefully engaging, and just watching it all the way through. It's been twice for all of them. I think 3 times for 07. And then I think I'm up to 7 times with Age of Extinction. Still not a lot of times for a 10-year-old movie, but hey. Most people bailed, most people just don't touch Age of Extinction again. I, however, am equipped to give a tour of that movie. I have done that before. People later asked if I was okay. They're not my doctor. They don't have to know anything about me. Oh, that's just... Like, there are ridges. You see this ridge here? This thing just, like, gripped... Ugh! I undid that tab. It just gripped right into it. Hungrily. Let's see how well we can show that. It's just like, oh, give me a bite. It's just, look at that. It bit the tire. Sick. Oh, Cypher saying it wasn't in the movie, it was props. Okay. They put so much work into stuff and, like, barely showed... you know, I mostly just feel bad for the folks who put all the work in and then, like, get told, well, you were paid. And it's like, yeah, but... nobody's in the movie industry to just get paid. You know, slight hot take there. Maybe I'm stepping out of bounds a little bit when I say that. Obviously, people want to get paid, but people don't go in there to get paid and not have their work be seen. You know, it's a twofold thing. When you're in a creative industry, usually, with a few rare exceptions, you actually want the things you do to be seen. Like that's part of the equation. What are these tiny, tiny things? Oh, man. There it is. My board game miniatures just keep getting knocked over. It's a disaster over here. Streaming toys is easy when you have a filming space to stream from, but I refuse. I want my whole computer. I want all of it. Okay, where was I? Yeah, what are these two tiny things? Are those the windows? Oh, I'm about to do a big overture maneuver. Oh, wait a second. Were those the nuts? No, those couldn't be the nuts. But I'm about to do a big overture of a maneuver here. Oh, Aaron, no. I was talking earlier that I still need to clear all of that space and some more that's off screen to install the second monitor. Unfortunately, life is incredibly funny right now, so I haven't done it yet. I didn't really... my mom's the one who noticed this, actually. I had a mixture existential crisis plus post-con funk at the same time, so this week has only recently become a little more productive. I don't understand where these things are supposed to go. Slow down and fix the balls. Okay, so the balls do need to be fixed. So I wasn't off base. I was there with the balls. What is layered on what here? Okay, there we go. Kind of. This guy's got unruly inner balls. Okay, they are out. I see it now in the line art even. I have not seen any of your ball instructions. They keep getting lost in between all the other stuff. You gotta preface them with an all-caps balls instructions, and then I would notice them. As a normal person would, you know? You can't mix your balls instructions in with all of your, like, cinematic, academia. You gotta keep the movies and the balls separate. Well, JTL, thanks to, you know, screen-accurate pieces like Movie Masterpiece series, we can discover just how many other Transformers also had balls. On the bright side, you merely have to move a couple window panels around to free the ball. And then you can re-engage the tire bite and just experience that joy all over again. Alright, with the balls deployed forward, we can now... Wait, yeah, that tab's in there. We can now lift this piece, I think. Oh, yeah, there we go. And that seats in there really nice and happily. Mosatron saying, speaking of balls in Transformers, anyone got any of the Legacy Starseeker stuff? Whoa. Brutal. What did Thundertron do to you? Deserve just a backhand like that. That's rough. I'm arcing this, by the way, just in case people are wondering. Oh, Cannonball! I thought we were just negging. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't mean to drag this on, but if you've been giving me balls advice for the last, like, 10 minutes, and I haven't been seeing any of it, there's a chance YouTube just decided it was smut and has been hiding it from the chat. There's a... I'm only just now realizing. Like, I'm able to just freeball it and just say balls, balls, balls as much as I like. Because I'm talking about sports. But, regular chat members occasionally will have YouTube turn on them and go like, what are you talking about? Because, you know, regular chat monitor YouTube doesn't understand how science works. Okay, that's how the feet work. Oh, we're back to these. Unaliving. I understand it, but I have very quickly been won over to the side who's like, what if we just fight the system? What if we just fight the system and stop saying unaliving? Because sometimes things are more important than monetization. But also, I don't know. It's... yeah. I can't stand it, though. When I'm watching, like, something where they're like, here's a thing that happened. This is a thing that truly happened. This individual was unalived. And I'm like, oh, no. I hate everything about this. I have been trying to follow the Hasbro instructions. I have also blazed past a few parts of it very demonstrably. Because, you know, that'll just happen. Like, I feel like I lost... oh, no, they're there. There's the grippies. I feel like it's easier to get lost on these hand instructions than just deducing them yourself. Oh, by the way, we're storing away all this ladder malarkey. Oh, my board game's miniature. Wheeljack64 saying, do not offer compliance before it is asked for. Aaron saying, I've heard too many people take the pro-monetization terms to IRL and just stared into space. PT saying, please stop doing true crime videos if you don't want to be demonetized and censor words important to the subject matter. Yes! Like, I kind of, you know, okay, look, with empathy, I kind of get it, but also, if that is your entire brand... eventually, you gotta sort your friggin' stuff out, dog. Like, Well, JTL, saying XD out loud is wholesome because, you know, that was from a more wholesome era. That's just, you know, excited children from the aughts saying XD and LOL out loud, you know? Oh, this is a heifer. This is a heifer. Yeah, trigger warning, content warning stuff on those videos, 100%. That's one of the first times I kind of got annoyed with them, is when there was a full-on warning, and I was like, okay. And then they still were using, like, also, if they mute the words, it's a little annoying, but I kind of get it. The muting of demonetization words bothers me one full class less than using new language in place of it in that specific subject matter. There are a lot of times where I'm like, no, new language rules, but, like, for that stuff, something about it just feels like I don't know how else to put it other than, like, even vaguely disrespectful. I put his mask on. Okay, let's get the thunder arm back on here. Let's get back to the good business. So this thing has to split. I'm gonna do that from here, because this is way easier. This guy was wearing a mask the whole time! We never saw the true face of Bone Crusher. We never knew! Oh, we're all the way up here now. This is ridiculous. So do these actually have tab in point? I'm guessing not. Because it's kind of just saying move them like this. I feel like I'm going to discover, like, more tab-in points on this toy the more I mess with it. Oh, that's funny. Part of the transformation is actually just remove these for the monster version. I don't want to. I like Humble Bone Crusher. Oh yeah, these are kind of like some kind of weird skirt option. How's his backpack looking? It's looking like this so far. I'm at the part now where it's harder to tell what this thing's trying to tell me to do. Oh, do these tab in up there? Oh, his backpack jigsaws. Oh. Oh, so it does. Oh no, there's a thing down here that's telling me, like, the normal arms can hook onto this stuff as, like, storage or something if the big arms are pointing forward. It's a very strange little series of images at the bottom of the instruction booklet that I'm having trouble actually seeing. My board game miniature fell down again. Yeah, these are like slottable. Ugh! the jigsaw. Yeah, there. His midsection just peeled. Embarrassing. Kind of cringe, actually. This jigsaw part doesn't feel super nice. Oh, there we go. It clicked. It feels like it's supposed to jigsaw more than it does, but also it's at angles where it couldn't possibly jigsaw more than it does. So there's like 2 extra sets of jigsaw in there where I'm like, what about you little fellas? What are you going to do to help? And they're like, nothing. Go to hell. We do full storage. Oh, those jigsaws only do vehicle mode? Lazy, lazy. I don't think this is supposed to actually go in there. I just really wanted it to. The claws don't fold like the deluxes, do they? I do not immediately remember how the deluxe is folded. Eric Palermo, this is not live. You've simply chosen to type at a very opportune moment during a VOD that you accidentally clicked the middle on. You're asleep right now. Ugh. Something about this one is fighting their mounting point so much. You know, the mounting point I'm unlikely to ever use, but it's bothering me that it's not going in. You know that feeling? When you're like, it's supposed to do it. One of them fits on both really happily. This one doesn't like either of them. Whatever. Not inviting this one to the company barbecue. There might be mold flash in here. I'm not sure. Look to your left. The angels have the phone box. Already realizing I should have done that in a horrific Cockney accent to just really say, whoa, hang on. I just inadvertently jigsawed more of the jigsaw together. Look to your left. The angels have the phone box. I was trying to do a French accent today, because, you know, sometimes you just sit there doing that. I just can't maintain a French accent. Can't get this thing in either. It's just too stiff. Whatever. We'll fix that later. We'll sort that later. The original, they split in half, and each of the claws folded in half. On this one, there's split jointing, but they don't have a mid swivel in here. The funny claws, I think, are meant to just do that because they have the big circular arc. I guess I could just put the funny claws on. The angels have the phone box, don't they, bruv? Why, are you some kinda doctor? Oh, I'm worldly. They should cast me. Oh, these fingers, the fingers on the funny claws are all individually ball socketed in, so you can get them spread and everything. FYI, by the way, before someone starts to, like, write a long, you know, response about this, I watched all of the Peter Capaldi series when they were on Netflix, so I watched some of it, alright? I was there. I watched a bit, I thought it was neat. I moved on a little bit. I like to peek in. Usually just in clips to see what they're doing, because so many of my friends talk about what's happening anyway. It's very cute European tokusatsu. I put the wrong ones on the wrong sides according to the instruction line art. Excuse me. I'm gonna fix this. Because we're professionals. Oh, it's so tight. Okay, there we go. More like Doctor Who gives a hoot. T Kusatsu. You a fan of Toku? Oh, that's just... I'm committing a war crime. That's what I'm doing. Ah. Easier. But I want to stick this one on this one. I am really starting to appreciate the disengagement joint, because it means I can just mess with this thing as a large stick. And it's way less hassle. Excuse me? Oh. No, I didn't have it the wrong way. It just moves in ways I wasn't aware it moves. Or did I have it the wrong way? This wants the little cylinder sticking... Okay, so I did have it the right way the first time. Ah! Nobody cares except for me. Nobody cares except for me. I'm half European. My mom is German. I'm half European, half Chinese, half Canadian. I am the 150% man. Hang on. No, I was fixing it. Yeah, the biracial millennials from Vancouver Island are allowed to have 3 halves. It's part of the Canadian law. It's codified. Yeah, Iken Lord, I've been going to Germany off and on since I was a baby. That's where a bunch of my G1 toys are from. That's why I never knew Transformers stopped. Because when it stopped in North America, I was going to Germany. And so I bought, like, Euro G1 toys, and then I wondered why I couldn't find them anymore in Canada. And it would be many years until I discovered the whole, you know, sordid saga. That's also why I'm one of those people who's very, very anal about Euro G1 being referred to as Euro G1 and not as G2. And yeah, the maths check out. By the way, the neck joint on this dude is so cool. It's like, you know, look left and right, but then it's the stick on the end is a ball joint, so you can wiggle his head around, you can have him Muppet pose, you can have him puppy dog pose, like, oh. By the way, for those who want to know my Bone Crusher headcanon, it's that everything in the live-action movie happened to him, and then he just got up. Because the toys expanded his story after the fact enormously. So he just got up and started wandering the desert. Aken Lord, you grew up in Baden-Württemberg. Very cool. My mom was from a little town just outside of Hanover, so I've often ended up, like, spending time in the vicinity of Hanover. But I've been to Berlin, and I've been to all kinds of other spots. I've been to Ostwangau. A lot of people don't even know what Ostwangau is. Well, Jotaku Toys, the implication is that he simply was so angry that he got up and started wandering the desert as a hatred-powered zombie. And I feel like that's a good start, you know? Like, they were collecting all the Decepticons to dump into the ocean, but then he just got up and wandered into the desert. Because he was like, I hate the ocean! Let's put some fire on this guy. I want to put his crotch flames where they belong. Akan Lord, I lived in Lahr and Hugelsheim. I might have been to Hugelsheim. That sounds familiar. A lot of my time traveling around Germany was, like, my mom taking me places and me only kind of comprehending, like, that we were going around to places. Because in some cases I was very young. How can you possibly tell any of these fire parts apart from each other? Holy crap, they're... I mean, some of them you can, but a lot of these are very samey looking. When it comes to images in an instruction sheet. Like, they're demonstrably all different shapes. I think this is the thick one. But the thick one mounts on one of his toes. Oh, here we go. There, this one goes there. This one has the flat bottom, so it matches with his foot. It's the low-key display stand. You sure you have the spine finished? I am not. I kind of just pushed everything together. Oh, I see. There is a square tab there. I could be pushing this in. What? Why are you fighting me? There we go. I didn't get the lovely click. That must have been why it fell apart halfway through. Thank you. Yes, that goes tunk in there. I like that my auto captions proper noun tonk. Why is his toe on fire? Well, speaking as a high-performance athlete, when you really get into it, you know, they got athlete's foot. Well, this is next level. This is some hardcore chafing. This is like, you need to get a pumice stone, you need to get some moisturizer, or your friggin' toe's gonna catch light, you know? Any high-performance athletes in the chat who can confirm? Absolutely you can confirm, because I am telling the truth. This goes... I like that they point out which of these little rods this goes on. I also like that so far, the mounting points have all been unique, and that's helping me deduce what some of these parts are. Excuse me? Oh, there. Oh! I need a different flame. There we go. This is where, in a post-produced video, I would just show you a close-up of each of these going on. And I wouldn't show that part. Aaron, do you... I know it's a bit, but... Legit, though? There's no way this is $4.38 of budget. This would be $5 on the dot at least. Also, getting this one in is gonna suck because, like, the fire parts are squishy, and this is sort of relying on, like, a little bit of like ABS style tactile feedback that doesn't exist. Stop taking LSD. Stop taking LSD. Ooh, the crotch fire. How does it go on the crotch? So it's this one. I see. Yeah, you just slap. This one goes right into the whatever you call it, the taint. Look, it crawls under. Look at that. Enhanced nuts. And then this one, we're just smacking onto his hip. Like, the work put into these fire parts, I think, is actually kind of impressive. Each one has a unique mounting point. And they could have just lightning collection these things and gone, like, I don't know, wrap it on it. Go to hell. I totally bumped the webcam with my knuckle. What up? This one even tabs in and then it has a little square to wrap around that little detail up there. So it's like it's actually enveloping him. Here we go. Fire Guts Bone Crusher. Yeah, 6 unique fire parts. 5 unique fire parts. Hang on, I gotta put the fire part back on. Crotch fire! Kaioken Bone Crusher, hell yeah. Crotch Fire by M Cypher, by the way, full credit. Emperor Nova, I never asked the question, what if Cyberjet but car, but I found my answer today getting the Battle Charger redecos of Combiner Wars Blackjack. I love those! Yeah, those are oddly rare now. Kaioken Bone Crusher. Listen, I know what Kaioken is because it's a lyric in one of my favorite Bloodywood songs. Specifically, Kaioken, I will be better than I was back then. It's in Aj. Aj is a friggin' power song. Whoop. I just want to do the I hate you scissor move here. Dude, has that, like, maintained, by the way, in fandom? Or is that, like, kind of lost old knowledge now? Knowledge, I say knowledge, but, like, is that bit still active in fandom? That, like, some of the gibberish Bone Crusher says kind of sounds like he's saying, I hate you? Yeah, here's the fiddly fingers. Well, the bit that Bone Crusher hates everything is because one of the few noises he makes that is somewhat audible kinda sounds like he's saying, I hate you, if someone else already told you that he's saying, I hate you. That's the root of it. Because back in 2007, in adult fandom, a lot of us would be rewatching clips of the movie just trying to figure out if the Decepticons were saying anything. Oh, it was also in his toy bio. Okay. I always thought it was just from the I hate you audio clip, where he's not actually saying I hate you. He's going like nish rasher brasher rash or whatever the Decepticon said, but it was fun to pretend he was saying I hate you. Oh, TZM Hero with the big facts. He was saying I hate Mew, just not a fan of the 151st Pokemon. Okay, this is, I think, the actual funny finger hug. Anyway, I was supposed to work that waist joint. Oh, that's such a waist joint. Look at that. Beautiful geometric clearance down there. Everything just getting to rotate around as much as it likes. We love this. You know what I hate? Anyway, the reason I was trying to figure out a French accent earlier today is because I thought it'd be really funny if Bone Crusher actually just had a French accent. He was like Hot Rod's nemesis. And he just ended up on the freeway in 07, but he landed whenever Hot Rod landed, and like the two of them were having it out. I just like the idea of this funny looking guy like just having a straight up just French accent, snarling about buses and stuff. You know? And he shoulder checks a bus. Which is what the flame is supposed to represent, by the way, is when he shoulder checks a bus. I love to destroy stupid American public transit. I am in the pocket of Big Motor. Drive more personal vehicle. Pollute the atmosphere. I put my children through college with money from fossil fuel. Yeah, it trends a little bit Russian, but also a lot of people just think all accents are Russian, I have sometimes found. Triumph, I think, has a little bit of that Quebecois. Oh no, that's it! That's why they're enemies! Sorry, that made me so excited I hit the camera, because it's closer than usual. So Hot Rod is French Francais, Bone Crusher is Quebecois Francais! And, like, that's why they're enemies, too. Because French people hate Quebec French, and Quebec people think their French is better than France French. Because we always got to figure out why to have a fight with, you know, a European country. I'm going to take these fire parts off him because they keep almost falling off, and I think I've had my fun with them. Americans come to TFcon and they do not know what good poutine is. They pour cheese whiz on shoestring pommes. That's more German. But it comes from pomme de terre. Yeah, this guy is a loomer. Look at the looming sensation he gives off. It's more loom in person. I'm trying to go where the camera is, see if I can kind of see it similarly. Yeah, well, basically, like, the way that Quebecois French and France French kind of differentiated is because Quebecois French is from, to a certain degree, colonizers who formed their own little thing and just kept doing their own little thing and kind of cut off contact with the motherland. And then the motherland, you know, grew up as well in their own different way. So France French is very European, very love language, you know, a little bit more airy and a little bit more like, you know, it sounds like it's expensive, right? And then Quebecois French is a little bit more wah. Like, okay, the big one is like in France, people say oui, and in Quebec people say ouais. Like that's how they say oui, is they say wah, and like that's how I was taught to spot the difference between the two. Yeah, he's hefty. He's big boy. Once upon a time, when Ironhide was the latest one, I didn't think you'd be able to do this with an MPM toy without stuff going bad. But you can just give this guy big old wiggles. Wario French. I mean, I wouldn't say that to someone's face, but... do you have MPM Blackout? He is not... I don't. I don't have Blackout, and I don't currently have a line on Brawl. I heard Brawl is so friggin' good, though, and I would like... Blackout has been long enough that now I thought, like, well, I guess I'll just get a luxury KO. They're all gone, too! So I don't know what to do about Blackout. Sideswipe Prime, Bone Crusher rules. This is a really cool toy. I was just enjoying his loom factor. But he's a big honkin' toy. His joints all feel like sick-ass, non-derogatory. Clicky hip ratchet, friction outward, buttery knee ratchet. Like, it's the whole hand feel trifecta. What I'll say about the Quest Bar Poutine is I don't think it was shoestring fries this time, but when I got one, it was a puddle. It was fine, it was good pub food, but it wasn't like, it wasn't what I would call, like, this is poutine, this is what you should have. Chris Muse, this was a TFcon acquisition. This came to me from Wheeljack64, who saw it in the charity auction donation raffle, and, like, pointed at it and said, like, I'm gonna win that for Chris, and then did, because Wheeljack64 sometimes can just do that. So it was super kind, and I'm still really thankful, and hopefully I'm expressing clearly, like, how much I appreciate this. But yeah, I had the Quest Bar Poutine, and the fries were not shoestring, I think. They were thicker. Which was good, because they've had shoestring fry poutine before, and that's always kind of a bummer. What the Quest Bar had that was really decent this year was the brisket sandwich. That was a surprise to me. It was like a really good griddled cheese and brisket, like, flat sandwich kind of thing. Chris Muse, I did like your TFcon gift. It joined like a little collection of pins I acquired over the weekend. Yeah, it was like it was a gifty whoop. It was you didn't see that happen. It was a gifty TFcon, which I never expect, and I super appreciate it. And I know it wasn't all on the back of like stuff that not even I myself am going through. I'm just mentally going through. My mom is experiencing, but it definitely like all came together to make that weekend a really nice 4 days of like I can rest my brain a little bit. Just do some fun panels and things. Panels never make me nervous, so they were really fun. I'm always happy I can do those things. I've always thought about doing a video on how to do a panel, but I don't know if that's, like, helpful or just would make someone more nervous. I'm trying to also figure out, like, how this guy's actual, like, standing balance works, because all these things move. Oh, I didn't do the scientific test yet. Hang on. We gotta, I think someone did this to show me he could do this when he was new. Logos Miner, thank you. That's very kind. I did get a lot of really good feedback on both panels, but I got so much good feedback on the evening for the Joy panel, and that made me really happy. No, this is the hard science, is can he dab? Now, the quack science is, like, the whole stupid, you know, You know, does that... Well, what if it's littler? What if it's smaller? Ah! I dropped a Micromaster. It's all good, Chris Muse. I'm going to be working on those panels after I finish some recent freelance projects for one of my favorite clients. It's all good, Trickster. Micromaster's okay. I don't know why I keep the Victory Saber Deathsaurus Micromasters right on the edge of my desk, seeing how they're covered in paint, but whatever. You know, I like to live life dangerously. Scorp! Scorp, we do got Bone Crusher fans. Ain't no lie. Aaron with the science. The funny thing is, in concrete inspection, tapping something heavy to listen to the sound is science. That's correct. And these mischievous children, I keep them on the edge of the desk so that they live on the edge of life. I'm giving them hard love. You know, you want to mess around? Desk fall. You want to keep messing around? Desk fall. Meet gravity, the harshest nanny. Don't do that with actual children. That could go real badly. I am not giving any kind of professional advice. Logos Minor, we are in live chat, so YouTube is putting you in jail again. What the hell? If you, I should say, I need to say this actually more often because a lot of people just don't know. If you post anything that resembles a URL, YouTube will just kill it. I've noticed that is way more common now. I also recently, in someone else's stream, tried to post something related to what my mom is going through, and it didn't have any danger words, but some combination of words like treatment and distress, like, activated the YouTube filter, and it killed my message, and it was really weird. Oh, Akan Lord, the mold, like, when I took Wingman out, he was fine. That's why I was so shocked that the fall, I think when he did the fall, he must have, like, landed on the wing. That's the only way I think that would have actually snapped off. Sideswipe Prime, so what Aaron is saying is we need a standardized thing to whack against toys, so that the only variation in the sound is the plastic and not the type of pencil or pen. So someone needs to produce an agreed-upon toy bouncer, toy whacker, toy tapper. I want to put his other funny face on. I haven't done that yet. Here's the funny face. When a little crumb, when a little fleck of dust gets in your eye and you think, oh, I'll just get that out. I can do better than my eyelashes. You know, don't pick at it. Is the dab even that old? Oh, the dab's pretty old. Yeah, Wheelcheck 64, like, apparently for Buster and Hydra, for Darkwind and Dreadwing, like, it's the exact, or sorry, Dreadwind and Darkwing, it's the exact same thing. Like, apparently on all of them, the one is good and the other ain't. Apparently Wingman and the second one that came out, both have, it's even a tweaked mold. The first release was worse. The legs kept collapsing on themselves, according to YouTube videos and the TFW thread. So, if you have the Euro version, or whatever the second one is, it's had its legs modified to be, like, a little bit tighter. And I remember I was watching videos where, who was it? TM Reviews, I think, was saying that, like, he and several others were kind of really hoping that Wingman would tweak the mold a little bit again to, like, be nicer with the wings, but apparently, like, you know, it didn't happen. Oh, Logos Minor, YouTube might not like this toy's name when I say it, or the word bus. That would be super screwed up if Bone Crusher is a YouTube filter activation word on a stream about Bone Crusher. So, okay, his other name is, Bob. So if you say Bob, I'll know you're talking about Bone Crusher. Dylan. Hey, listen, you know, no need to dox Bone Crusher like that with the surname. Holy moly. Sideswipe Prime with I love Bob Bone Crusher. Okay, I guess Bone Crusher is an okay word on its own. Yeah, I don't know how clear it is, but like down here, if it doesn't show up down here, this is just the chat window. That's why, like, sometimes if you type something and redacted a message, it still shows up as message redacted. It's just my chat window. So if it's not showing up in there, it's getting eaten. I wish I could be more helpful with this, but it's like... it's the system we're working with, right? At least in this case, I think it's more fun making up these kind of code... because we're making up code words for nothing, right? We're making up code words because YouTube's chatbot... it doesn't make any sense. That's more fun than stuff like Unalive. Yeah. Well, I mean, it took you, what, 4 or 5 tries to post the time codes on the 5th 2003 stream? Like, you know, after, like, leaving out the part where, like, at least the first time you had a URL in there, like... Bob Bone Crusher is such an 80s, 90s wrestler name. Not untrue. I will say, I have kind of been, like, I won't say, like, oh, I'm enjoying, but I'm kind of enjoying. I'm tickled by the fact that my first experience with most any fans hobby mold is the Euro repaint for TFcon. I'm kind of having fun with that. And I missed a couple of them. Like, I didn't collect the Autobots, like the cars, or, you know, Pyro and Boss Man. I let those ones go by. But on the ones I do have, it's kind of funny, because my biggest crit on Clutch, their Clench, is that they remolded so much that I wish he was slightly more expensive so he'd have a new midsection, because for those who have, I don't have the Armada Prime version, but they left in the part where you have these 2 really finicky tabs you have to pull out to unlock the waist joint, and it's in service of him turning into a torso. But since he doesn't turn into a torso, and they pulled out every part they could, so that turning him into a torso is fruitless. I kind of wish he was 20 or 30 bucks more expensive and just had a new midsection, so I wouldn't have to futz with these stupid... I hate those 2 tabs. They're so annoying. I like the figure. I hate those tabs. And the fact that those tabs are on there for something that Clutch doesn't even do, like, sets me off for, like, a minute, then I get over it. But, like, it's, you know... it's my biggest problem with the figure, because I'm like, this isn't even in service of something cool. This is just annoying. And I thought maybe I could leave them out, right? But they have to go in for him to turn back into a truck, so I'm like, ah! I'm also just having fun gripping and wiggling Bone Crusher here. I'll give you all a little size comparison. Hang on, let me grab something. Another delightful gift I received at TFcon, which also didn't cost my friend anything. This was from Graham, Slayer's Shoop. So here's Bone Crusher. Here's Uncle Bone Crusher meeting up with Big Sister Masterwife. I can't really pull this camera back easily. But, you know, this is her brother-in-law. This is Violet's husband's brother. Bone brother. So here's how they look together. I think they look really cool together. They both have the same eyes. No, never mind. This is her brother. They got the same eyes. That's kind of... I never noticed that before. They kind of... Look, their faces actually look kind of related. It's Bone Brother. Bone Brother and Masterwife. Chris Muse, my pins are all still buried somewhere. I'm gonna do on the weekend, I think, like a sort of TFcon oriented stream, and I'm gonna try to get all my things together to like wave in front of the camera. Yeah, Emperor Nova, Bone Crusher and Shatter are kind of synonyms. Her full name is Bone Shatter, but she's too cool, so she was like, "Nah, I'm just Shatter." Bone Crusher's like, "Well, I'm just Crusher," and then she hit him. She just open hand slapped him in the face, knocked his eye out, and was like, "You don't trim your goddamn name. I trim my goddamn name." And Bone Crusher's like, "Yes, sister." Anyway, I was reading up more on Metagate Shatter. So this is the first version, because I believe that the second version has a much darker gray than this. So this is the white, which didn't look... At first glance, I was like, well, that's kind of light gray. I thought that the white was, like, stark, blazing, like, titanium white. Yeah, here's two big, meaty toys. I was debating whether I should do a stream that's just, I'm gonna try to transform her all the way through. I don't know if, like, y'all get enough of that from, like, Henry Pike on Pike for Life already. I just like this toy a lot, so I was like, I don't know, transforming her, like, once through the cycle could be a fun way to spend, like, an hour or two. Auto subtitle saying Medicaid Shatter, yeah, Oh, Canada. Yeah, if the Studio Series is already expensive, this is a more impressive figure. Because I said this on Blue Sky. I've been trashing on her instructions a lot. It's a testament to the build quality of the figure that the figure didn't break while I was trying to use the instructions, or trying to just figure her out without the instructions. She's a beefy figure. They knew what they were doing. Makes me kind of hyped for their dropkick, so I can finally have, Transformers' Greatest Couple put back together. Speaking of headcanon, right? Like, demonstrably, Violent's husband died. But Master Wife, we never saw a body. She got swept away in some water and something exploded. Didn't have to be her. Among the many things that Rise of the Beasts, didn't follow up on, where was Shatter with an eye patch? The Star Wars prequel trilogy also let me down with that, with Captain Phasma. Because I thought they were going to maintain a thing where she just keeps coming back every movie with, like, the first movie got a big gash on her helmet. I wanted her to come back in the last movie with just, like, an eye patch, but over her Stormtrooper helmet. And then she's got, like, 2 sticks. I don't know, I just always wanted to be a character who just keeps coming back with an eye patch. They had that in Metal Slug, right? The guy with the Gatling gun? He's got a name, I can't remember what it is. Yeah, it's Violent's husband and Master Wife. Because they don't name them in the film, so for a little while I was like, well, these are easier names to remember. But then I kept misremembering it as Murder Wife, and that doesn't make sense, because he's Violent's husband. So you can't have Violent's husband and Murder Wife, it doesn't work right. It's Violent's husband and Master Wife, because she's like the mastermind, and that word plays into Master Wife. I went into this in the podcast panel at some point. Okay, so that's why Prime says that the Jet Shatter is 150 sealed and 70 loose, that being the Studio Series Deluxe? Okay, Griffman says by the 4th game, the Metal Slug guy is a cyborg. Yeah. I wanted Captain Phasma to be like that. I don't know, because Captain Phasma is just like a nothing character, but like it's like they specifically designed a new Boba Fett, but then they tried to do the bit, they tried to on purpose do the Boba Fett bit, but it just made me more sad. I always hear about Studio Series prices going up, so this is like not surprising, but also a bummer. Okay, so there's some for 100 sealed. I mean, don't pay $100 for Deluxe Shatter, Jet Shatter. She's fine. She's cool. She's not $100 cool. Well, no, if Phasma was someone's OC inserted, she'd be doing all the things, because she became my OC, damn it. I was, if you're not going to do anything with her, I'll make headcanon. And then they didn't. Yeah, just yeah, Mosatron, just eventually over time recast. Oh, I thought you were talking about Phasma. Your headcanoning Shatter as Rhea Ripley. No, she's got to remain Angela Bassett. That's a key part of the Shatter equation. Anyway, that's Metagate Shatter. She's cool. I had her in a neat pose because you can kind of tripod her on the wings. Oh, but I had this stuff folded down farther too. It's harder to tripod her on the wings now. Yeah, Cypher, the voice. The voice is important. Not to say Rhea Ripley does not have a cool voice. I've heard it. It's a cool voice, but not for Masterwife. Masterwife's voice has got to be Angela Bassett. I wouldn't defer to the nicknames, but like, hey, listen, filmmaker Travis Knight, y'all didn't have them ever say their names once in the movie, so you kind of gave me green light here to just rename them as per my will. But no, I also was going, when it became clear that we were never going to get official good toys of them that did everything, that were high-end, that were bigger than a deluxe, and not even triple change, but just a nice, like DLX even, I was kind of like, oh, they're never doing Dropkick and Shatter. I was like, okay, I need to take ownership of whatever their third-party name is going to be, so I was like, Violence Husband and Masterwife. Perfect third-party names. Not a single third party used them because they got bad taste, but they made a good toy. Yeah, 3-0 ran into the uglier side of being a licensor, where I think they wanted to do everybody, but then they were told, like, now you have to do this movie. Now you have to do this movie. I don't know that for certain. But I'm about 90% sure that if as a licensor, I always forget which one's the and the E when it comes to, like, this stuff. As a license person, entity, 3-0 is still beholden to demands from Hasbro, is my understanding. So, if they're like, we want to do Dropkick and Shatter, Hasbro can say, like, no. Do Netflix, Siege, Optimus, and Megatron. Okay, they're the licensee. Thank you, Sideswipe Prime. So yeah, as licensees to Transformers, my understanding is that the licensor, Hasbro, is able to still make a lot of demands, and just say no. And sometimes in ways that are really frustrating. Studio Series Car Shatter is just kind of a janky... It's like, she's a neat car that turns into a neat robot. She's just, like, not very poseable. And her forever pose, like, her natural pose, is, like, super boring. So she's just, like... She's fine, but I would never overpay for that toy. I kind of like Car Shatter, but, like, with a lot of caveats. That it's a toy that transforms, and that's kind of most of what it does. Anyway, I don't think I have enough in me to transform this guy back and continue streaming. So I think I'm gonna get lost while trying to talk the whole way through. Yeah, Cypher's got it. She's fine. It's like a lot of the worst Studio Series toys are still like, it's fine. If it's now $50, don't. Yo, Chris Carnage, I am surviving with power. Yeah, Car Dropkick and Jet Shatter were the best of the two of them. I never got Helicopter Dropkick because I wanted to, and I just didn't... That was a part where I went... Oh, no, wait, did I? No! I'm mixing them up. I got Helicopter Dropkick. I never got Helicopter Drift, because I thought he looked cool. But because I had Helicopter Dropkick, I was like, I don't want to pay retail for this. And then I only ever saw him on a shelf once. So, whatever. I tried my best. These jumbly Studio Series memories of mine. I wonder if I can make Bone Crusher look lewd. You never know until you try. Alright, so kneeling is going to be hard because his feet are bigger than his legs. So we can get a good pelvic thrust. Oh, hi there, Jedi Jack. We have a wrist swivel, so that's going to be helpful. I say a lot of things, but, like, I always mean what I say. Except when I don't. In this case, I'm being 100% on it. I just want to see if I can get him to look a little bit lewd. Oh, he can... Look! Okay. Because he's got a flap. He can play with his flap. He can be like, is it opening? And then we can work these in as like some more, you know, foo-foo-foo. Oh, it's just getting in the way, though. I don't know how to work his big funny arm into, like, cheesecake poses. I think the big funny arm has to stay back when he's doing cheesecake, if I'm being honest. Unless it, like, well, if it comes up here, it's not the same, right? Now that's just getting silly. If Bone Crusher had, like, the notion of cleavage, maybe I could do something, but he kind of doesn't. And the side balls are there, but they're not really titillating, they're just kind of there. They're like a dick pic on a dating app. They're just kind of sitting there, you know? It's This is a riddle I have to put some more thought into. I know that this boy can look sexy. I just don't know how. Chris Carnage, you got Cloud Across in Melbourne. Do you know if you have the only one in Melbourne? That would be my question. Emperor Nova, he always looks sexy. I know, but I mean, like, I'm getting a little shallow here. I'm thinking mainstream. I'm thinking Tumblr hashtag. I'm thinking, you know, Dojinshi and Mandarake. You know, I'm thinking marketable. You know. Not to be, like, corporate about it. I don't mean to be super corpo about it, but... Because, I mean, 100%, naturally speaking, like all living things, Bone Crusher is inherently sexy in a lot of natural ways, but when it comes to the mainstream, like, how are we gonna sell it, you know? He's got the hands for a Dojin, but, like, what's he doing to himself? Because right now I'm just trying to get my usual. I did this to Face Forward's Fans Toys aerial bots. You know, you get the one hand behind and the other one like down on the crotch, and you have a big thrust, and like that way you can get that out of any G1 Auto Boy easily. And a lot of the movie Autobots, it's simple because they just look like G1 Auto Boys with more panel lines, but it's harder with a movie Decepticon. Like, yeah, Bone Crusher's got the physique to, like, you know, figure some stuff out with an on-screen partner, you know, a co-star. But, like, what about Solo? What's his idol shoot going to be, right? Like, when he gets in the bathtub, you know, how are we gonna... If he had a shirt, he could have the third one tugging on the collar. Yeah, that's the thing. He's shirtless and he's balls out. Like, this, it's hard to romanticize it. Sky Seu, I only messed with the robot modes. I think they're great if you got them for, like, really, really, really a lot less than they cost, like Face Forward did. Like, Skydive's waist only turns 45? His waist only turns 90 degrees in one way. I think to facilitate turning into an arm. And Air Raid just doesn't have a waist joint because he has an undercrotch armature that hooks into his backpack. And I don't know how they transform. But if you can get a good deal on them loose, like Face Forward did, they seem fine. I just don't know how the transformation works, and that's always the enigma with a Fans Toys piece. I believe I heard that they're okay to transform. He's standing in a mirror thinking, man, when did I get so chonky? Yeah, maybe... I thought it was going to be kind of hot if he's playing with his crotch flap, but it's kind of not. Maybe he could do some... Oh, yeah, this is already doing more. Emperor Nova, Skydive is supposed to be a leg, so having a restricted waist rotation is bizarre. So, I mean the gray one. That's Skydive, right? The gray one with the lightning bolt? Because if he's supposed to turn into a leg, then I don't understand why his waist... Basically, his waist twists to one side only. Yeah, so he doesn't turn into an arm on the Fans Toys one? Then what the hell? Why does his waist only... Because it only made sense to me if that's supposed to be, you know, like a bicep swivel for the combiner mode for solidity's sake. Then that's the only way that makes sense to me. Wait, on the Fans Toys ones, do they even fully turn into arms, or do they just turn into shoulder things that slot into an arm? Do we even know yet? I know all the parts are coming with Slingshot, but I haven't really kept up a lot. Trickster, thank goodness, by the way, thank you for your service, Aerial Bot Expert. Speaking as the nearly legal owner of all Alpha Bravo canon, because Hasbro just let me do it, and they've never said no. I appreciate all the work you've done to lay the groundwork for upstarts like me. Their Fireflight has an elbow joint in it, so I assume he makes up most of the... Okay. Yeah, then what the hell happened to Skydive? Oh, yeah, and I should say, I saw it earlier in the chat. The Fans Toys versions, as far as I know, are, like, categorically different toys than the Zeta Toys versions. No, my whole thing, like, I have extensive Alpha Bravo headcanon, and given that he's never going to have, like, appear again ever in Transformers, I've pretty much taken ownership of Alpha Bravo, so I'm happy to answer any questions about, you know, the history of Alpha Bravo, you know, the media that has yet to be made by me about Alpha Bravo. I only say that about him because, like, am I wrong? I decided to just get bold about it. Like, I'm only getting bold about it with Alpha Bravo. I'm leaving Rook to someone else. I have a take on Rook, but hey, listen, I'm not going to be greedy. But basically, Alpha Bravo was... So I love the idea in Combiner Wars that there are just lots of aerial bots, right? There's the main 5, but there's other aerial bots. So Alpha Bravo was like a technician aerial bot when they were developing the Scramble Gatai technology, right? So he was there to watch the first Superion combination, and it was beautiful because Alpha Bravo, like, you know, kind of meek little technician, also kind of had a thing for Slingshot. But then when Devastator, you know, arose and had to be stopped, Slingshot sacrificed himself to stop Devastator, and that just broke Alpha Bravo. And he, you know, he took up the gun and slaughtered a million Viacons, and you know, as the story progresses, we'll have a little bit of a nice full circle on Alpha Bravo. But yeah, he's Slingshot's vengeful, basically vengeful boyfriend. They had a moment, you know, they had the tragic moment over comms where Alpha Bravo was like, you know, you got to get out of there. Slingshot's all like, it's all right, I always get out of there, and then he doesn't. You know, and the comm goes static because you can't see the explode. It's, you know, high drama. You know, when a faceplate transformer starts crying over the faceplate kind of thing. And I say all this to say, what else did they do with Alpha Bravo? Like nothing, right? Dynamo Dave, I'm going to say not a hot take. I know more people who think small groove chestplate and rook is just a more engaging idea than giant motorcycle giant motorcycle groove. Giant motorcycle groove is kind of cool when the other Protectobots can, you know, drive him. But how often do they do that in the fiction? Like never, because they're cowards. Smash Gamer, weren't you in Transformers Animated? I was drawn as an April Fool's joke, and I was going to appear in a background shot, apparently, but I didn't. So I'm in an Allspark Almanac, and I'm in an April Fool's image. And thanks to Kean Carlisle, I'm also now man in a pumpkin field in a deleted scene, which is kind of cool. Scorp, does anyone know tips to unyellow Alpha Bravos? Oh, it just fled my brain. The peroxide trick can re-whiten white plastic, but it's like kind of tricky. You can paint it on now, I think. Someone was saying at TFcon, we had this conversation at TFcon, I forgot a lot of the details in the moment. But like there's a way to paint on peroxide to like re-whiten plastic, but you also can like never expose it to sunlight again, or you have to do all the work over again. Rook question, did he appear in IDW outside of Lost Light? No. Rook says maybe one thing and then dies off screen on a hospital bed in my least favorite issue of Lost Light. That issue, one of the reasons I don't like that issue is because they just highly disrespected Rook. Highly disrespected Rook. Super disrespected Rook. But also, yeah. Yeah, that issue made me annoyed. I know people have their ups and downs with Lost Light. For the most part, I like Lost Light, but that issue represents, like, most everything that I've ever not liked in Lost Light, kind of condensed into one issue. The Defensor issue. Because basically, the reason why I don't really like James Roberts' Starsaber, and why I'm okay with how that character ended, is because that character had the same tonal buildup of a DJD, but without the second or third acts. Like, whenever Starsaber showed up, it was just Act 1 again. It was, oh, he's big and scary, and he's probably gonna kill someone because he's crazy! And then, like, I don't feel he ever got fleshed out enough to warrant his appearances. And then when they used him to job out Defensor, it, like, really codified how much I was like, if Starsaber doesn't get an issue, at least if he doesn't get 2 pages showing him doing anything but being scary and crazy and waving a sword around, I don't think I like this Starsaber very much. So the way he goes out in Lost Light, I was like, no, this is perfect. This is this is everything the character has deserved. In fact, it should have happened earlier if this was all the character was going to be. But that's like, you know, whatever. It's not like I'm like in friggin' James Roberts. I've always seen like a lot of like critique of Lost Light that eventually like swings around into, and you, James Roberts. I'm not like mad enough to like grab the author by the cuff of the shirt or anything. I just think IDW Starsaber could have been really interesting, and for whatever reason never got to be interesting. And I can kind of ascertain how that would have come to be, but I still find it very disappointing for how much that character continued to exist and affect the story afterwards. Oh, hey, Richard, how's it going? Thank you once again for the kind art. Richard Reyes in the chat not only gave me a really nice art gift for an early birthday present, but also like provided art to all the podcasters on the podcast panel, which was super cool. X Swordstone X, is Zack Sabre Jr. the son of Star Sabre and Leo Zack? It kind of depends on whether you are reading the Terebi magazine or if you're reading the anthologized Terebi magazine, and that's a very important difference. I forgot how I got onto that topic, by the way. Oh, Alpha Bravo. I was talking about Alpha Bravo. I love Alpha Bravo. And yeah, Trickster, Iacon Underground, and Strange 4, also of Iacon Underground. Right? Or am I mixing up all of the names? Anyway, they were both on the panel, so I saw Strange 4 thanking for the art in there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lost Light, I think, also very much had a schedule put on it at, like, one of the worst possible times narratively. And you can kind of see it. The same thing with the end of IDW 2. That's why that's why I'm never mad at IDW 2's rushed ending. Because it's like, everyone knew what was happening, right? Like, on a meta level as readers. So the end of IDW 2 to me is like a series of decisions that had to be made, and a number of them I think were still pretty cool. I wish the Threefold Spark didn't get just crunched into like a Monster of the Week story. But what else were they gonna do? They'd spent so much time talking about it, it would have been narratively not even bad, just weird. If it was left after the brief time travel happened, right? After one of the torchbearers got more character than she ever got in IDW 1, it would have been weird if that never was touched on again. It's just a shame that it all kind of like so much stuff had to get just funnel crunched into this little hole all of a sudden. Another character we're probably never going to see again, Termagax, one of my favorite characters ever. Termagax actually has character, so I can't lay claim to the character, but I don't know. Maybe in another decade or two, I can just say that I actually own Termagax, because I doubt anyone will fight me for it, which is a bummer. I'm getting very rambly here. So I should probably at least flip to. I've gotten here, by the way, on the pose. It's doing better. You can kind of see a little bit of strut happening, but I gotta workshop this a bit more. But I'll flip back to just face cam for a sec. Hi. So plans. Tomorrow I'm probably not going to do anything because I'm going to see if I can build up my brain to go out somewhere on Saturday night. Like, one of my other regular fellow humans, as I know you all are too. But Sunday I might, hiccup, do a TFcon debrief stream and show a bunch of stuff I got. I don't know how easy it is to, like, put everything in a pile where I can pluck from it, because I'm still very depression cluttered, as I constantly mention. It's really hard to undo that stuff. I'm trying my best. And right now my best is like, I'm getting up in the morning. But that's my plan, is on Sunday-ish, I'll probably do a TFcon debrief stream and show a bunch of the stuff I got. Hopefully I won't, like, misplace more things. I'm pretty sure I know where all my buttons are. I think I put them all in my gear bag, because it has a top pocket that fits little things really well. And then next week, there's going to be another Boxshred stream, the Pizza Party Boxshred stream, because one thing I got at TFcon was a collaborative piece that someone had found for me on, it was Turbo Spinach had found it for me on discount at a Target, and then muled the thing all the way over to TFcon for me. So I haven't opened it yet, and I figure, like, hey, why not hang on to it and open it up on a stream. Chris Muse, chronic pain clutter also sucks. Hey, I hope it can declutter as best it can sooner than later. That's what I say about myself too. But yeah, other than that, got my freelance work going on right now, over the weekend and into early next week. Next videos I'm going to be poking at are going to be the next one I want to do is the Maintaining Joy panel, because I think that one is going to be super important to put up sooner than later, because it seems to have a very positive effect on a lot of people, so I want to share that. I shared a slide from it on Blue Sky that came off of someone's Instagram story that had like taken a photo during the panel. But yeah, gonna put that up. All I have to do for the panels, for both panels, is I need to screen record my own slideshow, because it's a little easier to do it that way than having like making still images and having like stepped crops keyframing. It's a little easier if it's just a bit hinky, but it's mostly just a video clip I put over top of the existing video. And I much prefer to do either of those than just show the projector screen, because it's too hard to read. So, you know, have the actual slideshow there. It's I think it's a stronger look overall. Yeah, Ark. Maintaining Joy in Collecting is the next entry in the Why We Enjoy the Toys series. So, I still have 2 or 3 Why Do We Enjoy the Toys from the late 2010s that I need to edit and put up, and I'm gonna. I might do that when I go out west to help out my mom in a couple weeks, and I have a bunch of spare time out there. It's gonna be nice going out west. I've been saying this to myself. I don't like the reason why I'm going out west, but if it's happening anyway, it's gonna be nice going out west without like a toy show or some other like, you know, event happening. Because I think it'll also just provide me with a lot of like quiet, contemplative introspection time / productivity time, which would be a nice distraction in between helping out with hospital things. Yeah, Mom is she's finishing up day 4 of treatment. She's going to be on treatment for 4 or 5 weeks, and then she's got to stick around to go back in for second round of treatment when they have space open again. So it's probably the whole thing is probably going to be 2 or 3 months long, and you know, we're just hoping everything works out. So far, there's no indication why it shouldn't. So we just have to live in the present and take every day one at a time. My problem is when I stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning and I have no one to talk to, and then I sit here and start to predict paths of potentiality, and then freak myself out, and then like have to go and wander. What's she getting treated for? It is I didn't mention it at the beginning, but she's being treated for an acute lymphoblastic B-cell leukemia, which is the most common leukemia in infants. And they're doing the treatment because, in their own paraphrased words, there's a chance it'll work. If there was low to no chance of it working, they wouldn't be doing it. But there are a wide Oh, you're not going to notice that this time. I bumped the camera again. There are a wide menu of leukemias, both large and small, strong and weak. Don't ever Google one if you think you have one. You'll get freaked out. Have other people do that. But, yeah. I'm also just trying to use TFcon's sleep schedule to also just get into a regular sleep schedule. More so I just fall asleep before the dark hours. Because if I wake up in the morning, even if it takes me like an hour or 2 to get out of bed, because it's better if that starts in the morning than if I like sleep in till like noon or past noon and then need to do a boot up cycle. Because that just means I sit here not you know, justifying my existence to the world we live in, as they call it. But yeah, I'm also trying to figure out, because this is how my brain works, I'm like, what am I going to stream out west? So I might do a bunch of miniature painting streams out west, because that seems like something. Or I could try doing some modern news streams out west, because I'm not going to have all my array with me. I could probably do a cooking stream. Because my mom has a bigger kitchen than I do, so there's actually room to set things up. That could be fun. History streams are going to be difficult because I'm going to be on a laptop. My mom does not have a very powerful streaming setup. What a weird thing to say. But from what I have figured out, if I stream out west, it's got to be through my laptop with my iPhone as a second camera that's available. History streams out west are going to be difficult for the setup that we have. It's possible. I feel better doing them here with, like, the larger monitor and the larger everything. But yeah, I mean, I can try to figure anything out because I'm a miracle worker. So we'll give it a shot. Anyway, I'm gonna turn the music on so I don't keep rambling too much. Hut, where'd it go? Where's the extra? Where's the one I stick in? It's right here. Put that in there. Yeah. Oh, Richard says, well, thanks for wishing my mom well. And yeah, good night to you and Alfie, Aaron. After TFcon, my sleep schedule went back to normal for some reason after struggling to sleep from working 4 till 12 shifts for my full-time job. Yeah, because at TFcon, I kind of just forced myself to get up in the morning to enjoy the convention in the company of all my friends. And then that kind of carried over a bit. TFcon, I'll go into this on the stream on the weekend, but like TFcon Monday, because I had nowhere to be, and I was like not wanting to face reality, I ended up partly, also because I had good company, I should say, I ended up sitting in the lobby from like 12:30 till 8:30 p.m. before I took an Uber home, because there were people there and we were just having good chats. It was fun. But also, I spent 8 hours chatting in the lobby. And like, that's a record, I think. I don't think I've ever spent that long in like one space at a convention ever. So that was kind of fun. But when I got home, I was kind of like, part of that was avoiding reality. Then again, what's a convention for? But avoiding reality. That's running. Oh, hell yeah, that's running. Oh, by the way, before I go to BC, I'm also going to try to fit in another Elden Ring stream, because I gotta do the Omega Supreme Spicy Claw Noodle Challenge adventure before I go out west, or it's never going to happen. I don't got Omega Supremes out west. Well, not good ones. So I gotta figure out where to fit that in while I'm over here. Oh, Trickster, have a good drive home from work. Aerial Bot Appreciation Corner is always open. And in general, like, everyone's been very kind and well-wishing to my mom. I passed all the word on to her. I showed her the 2 clips that we shot during panels of the crowd, you know, sending their well wishes, and it did a lot to lift her spirits. So if you were at those panels and you yelled like 100 times thank you, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times thank you. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Stay safe out there.
delicious.
Let them come.